Jack stormed through the front door of his house and slammed the door behind him. It seemed like he was always slamming doors. Maybe it was because he was always angry, and today he was even more upset than usual. His longtime girlfriend had decided to part ways with him. It was because of his temper, she had said. She just couldn't take it anymore. The rage he was feeling now was surging through every vein in his body, making him a veritable powder keg of destructive energy. He wanted to hurt her. He wanted to make her suffer. He wanted to destroy her. He paced furiously back and forth across his living room, trying to come up with a plan. He was working himself into a frenzy when he suddenly remembered it. He moved quickly across the floor to the basement door. Opening it, he descended the stairs 2 at a time, slamming the door behind him. In the far corner of the cellar was a small storage room. Jack went to it, turned the handle, and looked inside. Against the wall sat a beautifully adorned wooden trunk. A few months ago, he had gone to an estate sale at the home of a very wealthy Japanese businessman. His son was running the sale and had put price tags on everything in the house. Jack had wandered through the mansion, looking at all the incredibly beautiful and expensive items. Eventually, he had gone outside to the garage, where he had come across the wooden trunk with the sign on it that read, "Free." He couldn't believe it. Upon closer inspection, he found intricate carvings in Japanese, along with a picture of a warrior kneeling before a similar-looking box. It was unbelievably gorgeous and obviously worth a small fortune. The only thing he could find wrong with it was a foul-smelling black substance around the edge of the lid. He was just about to try and open it to find out what the gooey material was when the young man running the sale approached him. "What's the deal with the trunk?" he asked. The young gentleman told him it was from the Edo period in Japanese history around the mid-1800s and supposedly harbored the spirit of a Gumji. The Gumji, Jack was told, was a dark, evil entity who took pleasure in inflicting horrible pain and suffering on humans. The story the young man's father had told him was that the spirit could be loosed on the owner's enemy by placing a piece of paper on or near the trunk with the intended victim's name and location on it. The box was then to be unlocked and left overnight. By morning, the person whose name was left would have suffered a very slow and excruciating death. The young man told Jack that he did not feel comfortable with the evil spirit of the Gumji box anywhere near his family, and so he had decided to give it away. Jack was thrilled. A beautifully ornate trunk like that was easily worth several $1,000s after a little cleanup. He had brought it home and put it in the basement to be worked on in his free time. He'd almost forgotten about it until now. What if the story were true? It would be the perfect revenge on his ex. Jack ran back upstairs and began looking for a piece of paper. He looked in the kitchen. Nothing. He looked in the dining room. Nothing. He looked in the living room. Nothing. He was becoming upset again when he noticed a piece of paper on the coffee table. It was mostly covered with typing, but one corner was completely blank. He grabbed the piece of paper and tore off the blank part. With a pen from his pocket, he carefully printed the name and address of his former love, then carried it back down to the basement, placed it on top of the Gumji box, and unlocked it. "You're going to get exactly what you deserve," he said as he exited the little room and slammed the door. A gust of wind from the door swept across the confined area, blowing the little piece of paper off the trunk. As it gently floated to the floor, it flipped over. On the side, now face up, was a phone bill that read, Jack Hodgson, 9243 Tribble Avenue, Harrison, Connecticut.